Welcome back to episode 4 of the Scorpio moon. Hey, y'all. So, I know it's been a while. I've had so many deep changes occur on the surface and below the surface of my life, and I just had to take a step back and give myself time to just relax and exist and be. My feelings have always been there. Those obviously don't go away, but my processing time has been a lot different lately. But it seems like though my processing time has been different, I'm processing deeper, which is why it's taken me longer to process the things that I normally would have processed much quicker. So, for instance, something that I could have, gone through my mind in 24 hours is taking me 2 to 4 days now. But the revelation that's coming with that 2 to 4 days versus 24 hours is so much bigger on the grand scheme of things. Like I'm seeing longevity now versus results. And for me, as a Scorpio moon, that just changes from perspective to the way you perceive things. So, the way you perceive is perception. That's current. That's like how you see it in real time. Perspective is kind of like a long shot. So, I feel like the way that I'm processing has had gone through an upgrade. And it really went through that upgrade during this Mercury retrograde that we just passed. So, this Mercury retrograde for me, it was an upgrade. We just got over Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and boy, was it a doozy. I mean, it felt like someone literally was doing 90 and slammed on the brakes on the freeway. That's how my life felt. Like everything just halted at once. And oh my gosh, I'm just like still trying to process it, but at the same time, I'm super thankful that Mercury retrograde is finally over. So it was over yesterday, the same day that we moved into Leo season. And then the same day we moved into Leo season from Cancer season and Mercury retrograde in Cancer was over, we also had a Scorpio moon. The Scorpio moon just ended this morning and we're now in Sagittarius. But the effects of the Scorpio moon always linger for us, obviously. So I'm just in a reflective mood where I'm just kind of going over like what just happened. I feel like everybody literally just went through the gauntlet and the deep sea dive with no equipment of holding our breath and seeing who was going to die at the bottom of the ocean floor and who's been training to go to the bottom of the ocean floor and then make it back up from the trenches without drowning. That was what the test was like for me. And I know that if it was like that for me, then it had to be like that for you. And that's where I really learned that, like, okay, I can go to the trenches and I can learn on a deeper level and I can come back up to the surface. But when I come back up to the surface, I'm not only coming back up for air, I'm coming back up to process, and that changes things for me. So, I'm just super excited right now for this era of my life because it seems like for all of us, like we're unstoppable right now. If you literally made it through that retrograde with no super duper deep scars, then this is the new era of forever. And what made me realize it was I heard that song earlier it was playing like I was going somewhere. I can't even remember where I heard it. Oh, yes, I heard it in my headphones. And I was headed to run an errand like downtown. And all of a sudden I heard, "Welcome to your life. There's no turning back." And I was like, wow, The saxophones are loud. The saxophones are super freaking loud because sometimes you can just listen to a song and then sometimes you really hear a song. And I really heard the song the other day, and that's when the saxophones were just loud. And I'm like, okay, this is a new freaking era. And I am super stoked and excited about it because as the days, excuse me, I'm so excited. As the days peel away from that retrograde, we're literally seeing what forever is going to look like individually for our lives. And that's not to say that things are going to obviously happen overnight, because things can happen overnight, things may not happen overnight. It's not for you to sit around and wait or hope for them to happen overnight. It's for you to prepare. And I feel like my mind halted so heavy and hard that I made room and space. And I know that you guys probably did too. You were able to clean out the clutter and make space for the rest of your life, what's coming ahead, because the lessons that you just learned are going to serve you through the rest of your journey. Whereas a lot of the lessons that you learned prior to now, they served you for a season, and a few of them probably were good for long term. But these lessons that we actually just came up from the bottom of the ocean floor from completing will serve you for the rest of your life. And I think that you know that. I know that because I had a really deep revelation, and it was tied to like a profanic moment. Like I had a super duper epiphany because I completed a cycle. Whereas I kept getting on the hamster wheel of this same scenario over and over and over again. And then finally I realized, I'm like, okay, if you keep getting on the hamster wheel, get off. And then you need to figure out what is it that keeps drawing you to this hamster wheel, because it's giving same word, different font. And I needed to understand the root of how this kept occurring. And I finally got to the bottom of it, the same way you did, the same way you got to the bottom of that triggering issue that keeps reoccurring and has reoccurred for the last 30 years of your life. And now you have that aha moment, that profanic moment where you're like, I get it now. So now that you get it, you apply that to the rest of your life and you move on, you move forward. Things feel so much lighter. I will add to that and say, Cancer season was heavy AF. Like there were literally days where I would have to like pull myself out of bed and basically like pick myself up to get my feet on the floor because it was just so daggone heavy. And now that we're in Leo season, I know that like people probably would consider Saggies the air sign of the fire signs. But to be completely honest, I would say Saggies are more like the earth of the fire. Leos are definitely more air than fire because we just be zoned off in our own like little mode. That's why we get along so well with Geminis, because Geminis are literally our sisters. Aquarians are our sparing partners. That's just my personal, but yeah, those lessons that we just learned were so crucial. And I'm just here to let you know, like, I see you. I see you. I recognize the energy. I'm super thankful for the raising of the collective frequency, everyone working on their energy, breaking generational curses, just doing the work. When I see the collective doing the work, it just makes me so proud. And I know that you feel the same way too, because it's just something about knowing that people are not living in limerence anymore. Things are no longer one sided, whereas I think this and you feel that. So we're so different that we can't coexist. I've noticed now that people are really getting on the same page where it's like, okay, so you enjoy that. Okay, so I'm over here with this. But we're going to respect each other and we're just going to respectfully decline to either combine or collide, because that's a respectful thing to do. You can admire or you can observe